Hi guys. Okay, so copious amounts of coffees later. I'm on to my next video. So I wanted to do well, a progress video for I've been wanting to get back into fantasy art for a while. I used to be quite good at it way back in the day, but I'm a little out of practice. So I've been watching a few other artists and I don't copy. I try to make my own, you know, spin on things. Dragons to me, have always been of interest. So I just wanted to show you the progress that I've made. I do have on my Instagram, Sasha_Fishback. If you want to follow me on there, you can see some of my progress pictures on there. I don't know how to attach it to this, so if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's fine. Be my guest. You know, request that you want to see my pictures, and I'll let you follow me along. So anyway, I wanted to show you the progress that I've made so far. It is something a little bit different. So, I'm just gonna finish it up with my um, they're not Micron brand, but they're very similar to the Micron brand. I thought I had ruined them by going over top of my gel crayons, but a little bit of sketching, a little bit of drawing on paper, it seems to be okay. So again, you know, they're savable in case you didn't get anywhere with them. So as you can see, this is my dragon. It looks more like a cross between a dragon and a seahorse. So it's basically a sea dragon at this point. I think it's not something I had started out with. I wanted to do one line down, but I don't know, maybe just starting simple is a little bit easier. I don't have to worry about legs or anything like that. And sometimes when you have a picture in your head, it's like I say all the time, it doesn't always come out the way you picture it. So this is what I end up with. Now, I used to draw scales like every individual one. I don't do that anymore because it takes a long time. So I'm more into the mode of scribbling and making it, pretend they look like scales. So it's a little bit easier to, you know, draw, and it's less time consuming. Again, it's your fantasy creature. You can do whatever you want, obviously. But, I just thought I'd show you a little video of my progress and things like that. And like I said, if you want to follow me on Instagram, be my guest. Just look me up. And I was going to put it on to Creative Frenzy, but I just don't see the point at this stage. So I'm just playing, basically. It looks like he's got barnacles all over him instead of scales. I'm okay with that since he is, at this point, really a sea creature anyway. That's all right. And with any other shading, you gotta make sure that darker when it goes in and under. The way the tail is, you just have to sort of go with it. Use your imagination. But I enjoy fantasy art for many different reasons, not just because you can create your own creatures and whatnot else. It just lends itself to more imagination, obviously. Like, you know, I just enjoy it a lot more. I love watching Asian movies. So there was one I just watched recently. I think it was a Chinese movie. It's Detective D with a D-E-E. Anyway, so I thought it was really cool, and there was a dragon in that. And I don't know, I like fantasy stuff and different things, so it's more my steel, my spiel, my shtick kind of thing. So sometimes it's just a suggestion of where the shading is going to be. And if you want to fatten them up a little bit, you can at this point, right? So I'm going to make them a little bit thicker. I seem to always start with the head, and I don't always get it right, but I don't know. It's okay. I'm not horribly upset by it, so. And then I'm just going to go along with my thicker marker or my thicker black pen and just make it a bit more pronounced that, you know, he's got scales here and that his body is segmented in such a way that you can see the scales that are closer and the ones that are further away. I wasn't going to do this as a video, excuse me, as a process kind of thing. I just wanted to show you that, you know, with a little bit of imagination and a little bit of willpower, you can get into the studio and just sort of create something a little bit different. I've been doing a lot of art journaling, which, you know, don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy, but fantasy art is still where I enjoy a lot of my creative process. And it's kind of a no-brainer for me. So I just enjoy it a lot more. His head sticks out this way too, so I'm trying to give more depth to it. And then once I'm done this, I'll erase all the pencil lines that I've put down. Now, I don't trace anything, I just sort of loosely give it a shape and then I just go with it. If you are new to this and you're not sure how to do this, obviously you can do whatever you feel like, but make it your own. You know, it's like a lot of artists put their hard work into it. So I find the simpler the shape to work with, the better it is. Um, Now, there's some great tattoo artists out there who do some very good simple shapes that you can sort of, you know, practice with, and then it makes it a very easy thing for you to embellish upon. And I used to do that in the beginning all the time when I wasn't sure how to draw something. I would just sort of take the simplest form of that shape, whether it be a letter or because, you know, this lends itself to some curves, obviously. So you can really go to town. But like anything else, you know, practice makes perfect. It makes you better, and you can just try different things and see what works for you. And just having a variation of size and thicknesses of pens really makes a big difference. And at this point, I'm just sort of kind of scribbling. I'm not really making real scales, if you get my drift. So I'm just sort of, as you can see, and then when you look back at it, you know, each time you go through, it's a little bit darker, it's a little bit more pronounced. I remember in high school, we used to have to do this one exercise was pointillism with India ink and a nib pen. Oh my goodness, I think I have glasses because of that reason. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but you know, after a while, your eyes just go cross-eyed, and it's like, okay, enough is enough. Yeah, this is the thickest pen here. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to watercolor it or if I'm going to use my pencil crayons. Sometimes I'll just take a photocopy of it and I'll try different things and see what works. Obviously, the paper is going to be different that you're going to use, but you know, that's all right. The mouth just seems, I don't know. I'm trying to get the, I don't want to touch over, you know, over touch the teeth because then it'll look too blobby. But I don't know. I think this more, you know, feels more like a sea dragon kind of thing. And I could color him. You know, I love the aqua colors, so I don't know. So, his wings have segmented bones in them. So I call them wings, but they're more like fins, I guess, you know. So I'm going to make them a little bit darker so you can see them. Again, use your imagination. And there's no precise lines here. I'm very loose in how I draw my line. I find being perfectionist in drawing is very self-defeating. So I just tend to go with the flow. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do this, really. So because it's just in your imagination. That's the beauty of fantasy drawing, I find. And there's some really amazing artists out there. Boris did fantasy art for many years that I fell in love with way back in the day. And it's Boris Vallejo, I believe. That's his last name. And he does amazing stuff. But, you know, depends on what you like. But as you can see, each time you go past it, it just makes it more in depth. And I think at this point he's not really kind of a clear picture kind of deal. I still have my pencil lines on here because I sketch it out first, and I do put a lot of the lines in there that I want. But again, you know, these markers, these pens, rather, you know, they have such a good pigmentation to it that it just really shows up quite nicely, which I like. And with each pass, you know, you can start with the very lightest one. I kind of like to go gradual, and then you can deepen each one as you go. And again, you know, as you can see, I'm not very precise. I have no idea how well my original pencil lines are going to erase. My eraser is kind of weird. I do have one of those, you know, kneadable erasers, but it doesn't work quite the same way. And this little fin down here, it didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. I was hoping for more of like a fantail, you know, it's like how he has his wings here, or fins, I guess. So he's got the one here and then the one here. I was hoping to make more of a circular, like a semicircular kind of thing, but it didn't work out that way. So, like I said, stuff in my head does not always translate to paper, and it's really a shame sometimes. But that's okay. I'm not concerned about it. So again, with the head, you know, it's like here, I always seem to have problems around the mouth. I don't know why. I'm going to see if this will actually erase. And this is why you're on the tripod, because this is going to shake my desk like crazy. And it's going to rattle all the stuff on there. It's good to use a light pencil. I've been using my drafting pencil. I've had this forever. And I just use that when I did start out with my Derwent graphic pencils. Sometimes if you just want to do a plain sketch and shading in pencil, this is a really good kit to have. I've had that one forever too. But my drafting pencil seems to work the best. I don't know what it is, but I've always been able to get good sketches with that one. Maybe it's my lucky pencil. I don't know. Can one have a lucky pencil? Maybe. Now again, this is just a sketchbook, so watercolors in this is not going to work probably too well. I should probably get something to clean paper, but sometimes if you press too hard, a light hand is good, and then you can go in with the kneadable eraser, and then I just pick up the extra pigmentation, and then I go over it with the pens, the pseudo microns, I guess. You know, they're not real microns. I think I maybe should invest in a set. Vacuum my floor again. It's like, this is one of those things that just makes a mess everywhere. And the table is shaking. So that is pretty much it. I think that's most of it. I really did try to do around the face more, so you can probably see more pencil lines there. You probably can't pick that up on the camera, which is okay. I'm all right with that. Oh, a mess. That's one thing I don't like about all this eraser stuff. All right, so that is pretty much it. I don't know. I might try to take a photocopy of it. I don't know if my photocopier will take like watercolor paper. I'm wondering if I take one of these and then feed it through the paper tray, if it'll print off on this. Because then it saves me from sketching it all over again. And then I could watercolor it. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I might just try some different things and see where we get with it. But, you know, you can darken up the wings a little bit more and just make these bones a bit more, you know, prominent instead of, like, I tried to attach it to the body, you know, a little bit to make it look like it is part of it. Now the wings or fins, I guess they're really just the fins. I just wanted it to show up a little bit more, and just a question of coloring it in. And basically just, I mean, I'd love to do it all in black and white, but I'd like to see how it looks in color too. And I'd like to try my hand at watercoloring. And this is a good way to practice too. You know, just keep your good copy in here, photocopy it obviously, and then use pencil crayons, use different mediums, see what you like. And then for future reference, you'll have it. And then you can try different things and see what you like to do. That's kind of what I like to do with a lot of my, well, recently anyway, with my pictures. So you can make the bone segments more pronounced by putting like little nodules on them. I could make him into a really mean dragon, you know, and put spikes or nails or something on them if I wanted to, but I don't think he's going to be that mean. Not in this case, anyway. But you can definitely make it more pronounced just by scribbling a little, you know. So his wings have been around for a while. They've been a little bit beaten and battered by the ocean waves, I think. So it just adds more interest to it too. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna try photocopying it and see what works. I'll just put my signature on there. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see what we can do next. All right, see you in the next video, guys. Bye.